SCP-2621 Object Class Euclid Special Containment Procedures Foundation forces are to maintain a flight-restricted zone above SCP-2621. This restriction is to be enforced on all non-Foundation aircraft. A fenced perimeter of 2 km is to be maintained at all times surrounding SCP-2621. Foundation survey, excavation, and exploration of SCP-2621 must be approved by the 2621 Project Director, the Ethics Committee, and the current O5 Supervisory Member for the 2621 Project. Satellite and ground-based surveillance is to be carried out regularly on the site, and any changes in the behaviors of SCP-2621 instances are to be reported to the 2621 Project Director. High-level surveillance of SCP-2621 is to be carried out daily for a period of 6 months following the conclusion of Operation 2621 and any future operations. Description: SCP-2621 is a collection of ruins approximately 16 km south of the city Hala, Iraq. Physical approach of closer than 1.3 km to SCP-2621 is difficult due to the presence of several entities, identified hereafter as SCP-2621 instances, around the ruins' perimeter. These instances attempt to prevent outside access to SCP-2621. SCP-2621 vary in appearance, but most are exceptionally tall, winged, and white-clothed humanoids carrying swords. While the majority of SCP-2621 is only accessible via an underground cavern, several ruined buildings still stand above ground. SCP-2621 instances use several of these ruined structures as access points for the underground caverns. SCP-2621 is believed to have been inhabited during a period of time lasting between 2440 to 2291 BCE. Satellite photography and limited spectrographic analysis indicates that anachronistic materials and methods were used in their construction. Several of these buildings utilized reinforced concrete, a technology that did not see wide use until the mid-1800s. What danger, if any, the central anomaly may represent is currently unknown. As the SCP-2621 instances will use lethal force to protect SCP-2621, exploration without military accompaniment is not advised. Operation 2621-1 Report Operation 2621-1 On August 19, 2016, an archaeological expedition to determine the true nature of SCP-2621 was approved by relevant project staff, the Ethics Committee, and the supervisory member of the O5 Council for the 2621 project. Several MTFs were assembled for this purpose, including MTF Epsilon 3, the Joneses, MTF Nu 7, Hammer Down, and MTF Tau 5, Samsara. Utilizing satellite imaging of SCP-2621 and behavioral data relating to SCP-2621 instances, a plan to acquire information was approved. The Joint Overwatch Commander for this operation was designated as Agent Bradley. It was determined that Tau 5 would use a direct physical distraction for the SCP-2621 instances, while Nu 7 would use its aerial assets to assist in rapid insertion and extraction of Epsilon 3's combat-trained archaeologists. All 3 teams were used during the planning phase and given Overwatch responsibilities alongside the remaining 2621 staff during the operation. The following is an event log detailing the operation. 13-12-39 Agent Bradley orders ground elements of Tau 5 across the 1.3 km exclusion zone from the south of SCP-2621 in 2 motorized troop transports. SCP-2621 instances posted around the surface of SCP-2621 take to the air and move rapidly to intercept the transports. 13-14-01 8 SCP-2621 instances approach the troop transports. The transports stop, and 16 members of Tau 5 exit the vehicles. 13-15 First contact with SCP-2621-1 instances. All 2621-1 instances draw their swords, which ignite immediately in flames. Tau 5 engage the 2621-1 instances. 1314-17. Nu 7 begins a rapid northern approach of SCP-2621 with elements of their helicopter squadron. Nu 7 crosses the exclusion zone without a response from SCP-2621-1 instances. 1314-29. Tau 5 has killed or subdued all 8 attacking 2621-1 instances. 18 more 2621-1 instances emerge from below SCP-2621 and begin moving rapidly towards Tau 5. 1314-58. Nu 7 approaches within 300 meters of SCP-2621 and encounters a previously unidentified hovering entity. This entity appears as a disembodied head at the center of 2 flaming, nested, and perpendicular wheels. The outside of both wheels are covered with golden eyes, which begin to fire several beams at Nu 7. After a 1.5-second delay, Agent Bradley gives orders to fire AGM-114 Hellfire missiles at this entity. All missiles strike the target, which breaks into pieces and falls to the ground. Nu 7 continues to approach SCP-2621. 1316-23. Tau 5 encounters the 18 approaching instances of SCP-2621-1. These instances attempt to keep range on Tau 5 and send streams of flames through their swords at Tau 5. These attacks are remarkably inaccurate, and the 2621-1 instances are either incapacitated or killed over a period of 47 seconds. 1317-18. Despite a clear weather forecast, the sky begins to darken as Nu 7 arrives above SCP-2621. A team of 12 Epsilon-3 members rappel into the ruins. While 2621-1 instances are present underground, Epsilon-3 meet little hostile resistance. These instances are not armed. Members of Epsilon-3 begin taking samples and collecting data. 1322-40. Agent Bradley informs Tau 5 of an approaching object. This object appears as a large flaming cross that splits the clouds as it falls to Earth. The object embeds itself in the ground approximately 20 meters from Tau 5, and several dozen SCP-2621-1 instances emerge from the object's glowing sides to engage Tau 5. 1324-54. Nu 7's helicopter squadron begins to be buffeted by wind and rain. The sudden weather phenomenon are well within the equipment's tolerance. 1346-39. Tau 5 has encountered 338 SCP-2621-1 instances at this point, though the initial flow of instances has slowed considerably. Tau 5 sets up a perimeter around the glowing cross and begins to pick off instances as they exit. 1348-33. Epsilon-3 survey and collection window as defined by the engagement plan is concluded. Epsilon-3 returns to the helicopter squadron. 1349-09. Tau 5 has cleared the engagement zone of all SCP-2621-1 instances, with a current tally of 484 instances killed or incapacitated. The MTF has suffered several minor injuries during the engagement, but remains at full strength. Agent Bradley orders Nu 7 and Tau 5's location to assist in their withdrawal from the field of operation. 1350-51. Nu 7 moves south and provides close air support during Tau 5's withdrawal from the battlefield. 17 new instances of SCP-2621 emerge, and are eliminated during this time. The Task Force General Staff concludes that the cross must be destroyed to ensure a safe withdrawal. 1352-30. Tau 5 fires several shoulder-mounted rocket launchers while Nu 7 fires a number of Hellfire missiles at the object. Some pass through the center of the object while others impact the ground surrounding it. The object shatters into shards and collapses. 1354-47. Tau 5 boards their troop transports and leave the area, followed by Nu 7's helicopter squadron. 1400-12. Several SCP-2621 instances slowly exit SCP-2621 with their hands above their heads. After several minutes, they begin the process of recovering the injured SCP-2621-1 instances along with the corpses. None are armed. Evaluation Interview. In the months following this operation, several members of the Joint Task Force suffered psychological issues relating to their experiences during the operation. Initial suspicion of long-term mimetic or psionic effects were ruled out through testing. Regardless, several members of the team required a full course of amnestics in order to return to operating capacity. Agent Bradley was interviewed by 2621 Project Director Dr. Martinez following these events. Relevant excerpts of the interview are below. Dr. Martinez: why do you think some of your team is having so much trouble with the operation? Agent Bradley: that's hard for me to guess. Ramirez was raised Catholic, and he was definitely hit the hardest. His profile lists him as an atheist. Yeah, all of us were for some pretty obvious reasons. Much as I'd like to think it's a binary thing, there are levels to that shit. So, it's about their faith? I mean, it's one thing to believe that there is no God. It's another entirety to mow down its avenging army like they're made of cardboard. What about you? Even if we hadn't killed 500 of those things out in the desert, I think that collapsed tower at the center is a pretty good sign that some of the Bible might be true. And that doesn't bother you? The Bible paints God as a petty and vindictive son of a bitch. But he's gotta follow rules like every other anomaly I've ever heard of, and we saw some of those rules on the battlefield. So, you're not having the same kind of crisis of faith? No. I'm right where I was before the whole business started. If God exists, can't shoot worth a damn, and I've got close air support. End interview. Artifact listing. Recovered artifacts are currently being evaluated by Foundation staff. A limited number of processed artifacts along with their description are listed below. All members of the 2621 project along with relevant members of Epsilon 3 are currently cleared to examine the listed artifacts under supervision from the 2621 project director. Item 0009. Description: a stone inscription removed from a ruined house. Partially translated text: Anu Ubalit, whose second name is Kephalon, son of Anu Balusu Ikbi of Uhuk. For the sake of the name of Nimrod, king of the lands, my lord, I widened its ancient foundation and I applied concrete to them. I built and I completed the interior. I brought cedars from Mahaduru, the strong mountain, and I roofed with them. I installed strong cedar doors at the gates of their cellars. Item 0011. Description: a collection of extaspecies texts. Pertinent excerpts from the collection. The king will bring the property of the temples into the tower, and they will be exposed to the sun. The man's father will die. The god Marduk will thunder in the land. If the top of the station is pierced right through, the end priestess will repeatedly steal sacred property. They shall seize and burn her. The farmer will kill his brother. The messengers of the gods will breach the city walls. The peoples of Babylon will be scattered before the winds. The god Marduk will thunder and devour the land beneath. The tower will be lost. Item 0012. Description: a royal inscription on a stone tablet removed from the center building of SCP-2621. Excerpt of translated text. Nimrod, great king, mighty king, king of the world, king of Babylon, king of the lands, provider for Erech, Akkad of the Kalani of the Sinai, foremost heir of King Cush, the Sumerian, king of Babylon, am I. Marduk, wisest of the gods, the proud one, who is worthy of praise, look favorably upon me. At your supreme command, whose command is unalterable, may the downfall of the land of my foes, the achievement of my successes, triumphant victory over my enemies, a just rule, a prosperous reign, years of happiness and the full enjoyment of great old age, be a gift for the son of Cush, King Nimrod forever. May I build a tower to reach to the sun. May I create the bridge between earth and heaven. May I break your exalted tablet which preserves the bounty of heaven and earth. Upon this purpose may my days be long, my years many. May my throne be secure and my reign lengthy. Item 0013. Description: a building inscription from a tablet removed from the same building as Item 0012. Summary of translated text. A text describes a building 24 kush, around 8 meters wide, and 7 nindan, around 39.8 meters tall. In comparison, the tallest building today is 828 meters tall. Thank you for listening to SCP-2621. If you enjoyed this SCP, please follow the link in the description to the SCP Wiki and vote it up to support the author as well as the SCP Wiki as a whole.